First place, how brilliantly he put his finger exactly on a worry that almost all Americans have. I know you have it in your family, we've had it in my family, which is what happens if I lose my insurance. I mean, medical costs are not only are they huge, we know that, but they're wildly unpredictable. And you don't know what sort of medicines you're going to need, what these medicines are going to cost, what sort of operation, what it's going to cost. The hospitals are not forthcoming, doctors are not forthcoming about this. Our payment system is bizarre. So he goes right for this worry, a worry that we all have, no legitimate worry. And but he does it, without even a bow towards what concerns us most, which is getting treated or getting our loved ones treated. He acts as though when our house is on fire, we call Allstate instead of 911.
He calls this insurance.
He frames the whole argument in terms of insurance. Now, what we're worried about is getting treated here, A, and B, not losing the house. And he's framing this in terms of, those insurance guys are
I told you, we went up to Canada recently and talked to Canadians about what it's like to get government-run health care. And for the most part, they like it. They, quote, don't have to pay for it, but of course they're paying for it all the time. A buddy of mine who works at a think tank up there also has a bad back. I have a bad back. The doctor said, get an MRI. I got one the very next day. He went to his doctor and said, the doctor said, you need an MRI. How long is the wait? He said 52 weeks. 52 weeks for a simple MRI. So
2 weeks.
They all have coverage. Every Canadian has coverage.
And they'll get it eventually.
What I found is they don't have treatment. Not every Canadian has treatment. We have treatment.
I mean, if you lower the price of treatment, treatment will go away. If you artificially lower the price of treatment, treatment will go away. If you artificially raise the price of treatment, you'll get more treatment than you need. I mean, this is economics, not even 101. I mean, this is like what you have to know before you can take economics 101. But so Obama frames this all in terms of insurance, which is not the first issue. And then he makes not the slightest gesture to address any of the things that make insurance so expensive. Tort. Remember, it's not only the insurance companies that have to cover tort judgments. It's also the doctors themselves, the insurance that they have to carry. The hospitals, the insurance they have to carry, the ambulance services, the nurses, all of these people are carrying tremendously expensive
There's a reason
costs.
for tort, and I like tort laws in that I have a private policy. It's not a governmental policy. It's not government-run health care. You can't sue the government. If you do, you will never win. If my insurance company fails to give me the coverage I need, the treatment I need, I've got a piece of paper, I've got a contract, and I'm glad we have tort laws so that I can sue them. Go to a Canadian, and one of them who tried to sue to get the money he needed because he went down south to the United States to get the life-saving treatment, the Canadian government wouldn't pay for that, even though he would have died otherwise because there's no contract.
Can't sue me.
Right.
Can't sue me.
So, but there's a difference. There's a difference between good tort laws that allows me to sue, and then those things with outrageous, outlandish judgments, which
the big billboards that say you may be injured and not even know it. There's a misconception, I think, that people of the libertarian ilk and political conservatives want to eliminate tort law. No, we want to make, as a matter of fact, tort law should keep us from having to have a whole lot of regulatory apparatus that gets perverted, doesn't work very well, fails to work at all, gets corrupted, etc. Tort law is there to make people who do bad things to you pay for it. But the payment that they make has to be predictable. And we've created a tort system in this country where the people who are liable for tort judgments, potentially liable for tort judgments, an OBGYN is like a perfect example. There are many things, of course, that can go wrong during the birth of a child, and the OBGYN usually ends up getting sued. The insurance for an OBGYN is unbelievably expensive.
So bad was it in Florida? It was something like $250,000 a year at one point that OBGYNs surprisingly didn't open up shop. There was no place to have babies. There was a shortage.
Yeah, you had to go to Georgia to have a baby, or the
Who
Turks
wants to
and
be born in
Caicos.
Georgia?
Yeah, or the Turks and Caicos. For tax reasons, maybe one does. Anyway, we need a reform of that tort system so that it works.
And nothing in this Senate bill touches tort reform. Now, I remember
much less the House bill.
The president did say he wanted to gear up a demonstration model in some state.
Pilot program.
I felt safe.
Whenever governments want to get rid of an idea, whenever the U.S. government wants to get rid of an idea, it creates a pilot program. That's where school vouchers went. Down the pilot program chute.
No, that's all right, because the president will be sending his kid to a public school in D.C., not one of those.
I'm sure.
I'm sure that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to a wonderful private school.
They're going to Friends, Quaker school.
Talk to me a little bit about buying insurance elsewhere. Here in Colorado, we have 50-some mandates on insurance policy. So if I want to get insurance policy that doesn't have maternity coverage or doesn't have alcohol treatment coverage or smoking cessation on it, I can't find that policy. But someplace else in the country, I know they exist.
But you can't
buy it.
You can't buy it because you're a resident of. This is again another thing that President Obama nor the Democrats in Congress, House or Senate, have even made a gesture at lowering trade barriers for insurance companies, and also of doing something about the state mandates. Now, there are certain state mandates that perhaps make sense, but the problem is that there are 50 different ones, and so therefore causing huge confusion. New Hampshire is extremely strict about pre-existing conditions. And I understand that's tough. I mean, I'm a cancer survivor myself, and so in one sense, I have a pre-existing condition that could in some states would eliminate me from being able to get a policy under certain circumstances or at certain prices. On the other hand, if I come into the insurance company weighing 900 pounds, and that insurance company says, "I don't think we're going to insure you because you look like you're going to die in an hour," In New Hampshire, they have to.
They have to take them.
They have to take them. So we have to make some sense out of this stuff. And then
but this one, what amazes me is that insurance companies were evil, and then insurance companies decided that they were going to buy in and agree to spend $150 million to advertise for something that would put them the last thing to be destroyed on the table. And now they're backed off and they're evil again. But if we allowed for cross-state purchasing, you know who hates that? Insurance companies. The last industry that wants that is an insurance company. I would think Democrats would say, let's get at those evil insurance companies and
make them compete.
Make them compete.
Make them compete. This, of course, is back to regulation for a moment. I mean, this is a typical example of what tends to happen with regulatory apparatus, which is that it gets captured by the industry it regulates. And it's a little bit like like voting on the school board, voting for school board members. We do a town meeting sort of thing in New Hampshire. You go to
how quaint.
Yes, very cute, very Saturday Evening Post, Norman Rockwell cover sort of thing. You go to the meetings, school board meetings, the meetings at which school board members are elected and the meetings that are open to the public and so on. There's no one there except school teachers and people who are married to school teachers and occasionally people who have school teachers for a mom or a child. That's it. Nobody else comes to these things. The regulatory mechanism, our educational regulatory mechanism, has been captured by the people we're supposed to be regulating, the educators. This, of course, has happened in the coal industry, this has happened in the utilities industry, it's happened in the insurance industry. And from all indications during 2008, it happened in the securities industry.